includes Oregon region, and simply I will create the bucket. So bucket got created. I will do the notification, but before that, let us create the Lambda function first. And before that even, I will go to the SNS. I want to create the simple notification service topic, SNS topic. So let me first create the SNS topic and then I will go for this. So let me go for the standard. I tried it in the morning and it worked perfectly. Okay, so keeping everything as it is. So the topic has been created, and as we know, after the topic, you need to go for the subscriptions as well. So I will go for create subscription. In protocol, I will select email. Let me use my email ID. And let me create subscription. And this is the, okay, fine. I tried it in the morning. I'm expecting, yeah, this one. Okay, so now I have, it is the restart topic, right? So let me confirm subscription. Fine. So I have confirmed the subscription as well. And fine. Once I go to the topic, and now it is showing me confirm. Okay, so in this lab, I have created this one. I have created this one. Now, first I will create the Lambda function and then I will enable the notification as well. So Lambda function, I'm just going to use whatever you have sent me. Okay, so this is the credit goes to you only because you created it. So what I will do, I will replace this bucket name with the bucket which I have just created, and I will replace this topic ARN with the ARN topic which I have created. Okay, so for that, let me just go to the bucket name, and yes, we know the bucket name is very simple. It is Seema dash bucket. Let me copy it just to avoid the mistakes, and I will just and second thing, it is the ARN of the topic. So for that, let me go to the topic, and this is the ARN. You can take it from multiple places. So this is my ARN. Fine. So now what I will do, I will create the Lambda function and I will just use this code there. So let me just copy it. Now Lambda. Create function, author from scratch. Let me just name. I'll select Python. Okay, just we'll use the okay, we need to use the role as well, right? So the role they have already provided to us. So use the existing role, and it is the Lambda access. Okay, so if you are curious, and definitely you should be, if you go to this IAM, and if you just go over there, and if you just go to this role, so see, basically Lambda will always need the basic execution permission. Okay, basic execution permission should always be there with Lambda. But apart from that, if you take this example, this Lambda is going to see as a S3 bucket is just going to send the notification that I am having a new file inside me, right? Then it is Lambda who is going to go there and it is going to pull that file. Okay, it is going to pull that file, then it is do the needful, means what is the number of words, etc., etc., and then it is going to send the message to the SNS topic, right? So see, here the Lambda needs to communicate with S3 bucket, with SNS service, as well as the CloudWatch as well. Okay, so because it is going to monitor, right? So these three services has to be there. So let us see what permission they have given. So if we just go to Lambda access role, so if you go here, if you go to permission, so CloudWatch full access, S3 full access, SNS full access, and Lambda basic execution role. So every time this has to be there. But apart from these, the services which it is going to communicate with has to have the access. But definitely it doesn't need the full access permission. But anyway, it has this role has been created for you. You don't need to create this role. And what we are doing here, we are giving this Lambda permission to use those services, and that is through this Lambda access role. Fine. So nothing to change in the advanced setting. Let it be as it is. And now let me just click the option. Is there anything regarding the log that I'm going to see? Okay. So create function. Okay. Now function is created, right? And our bucket is also ready. Now what I can do actually, I can add the trigger from here also, or I can add the trigger from S3 bucket as well. So let me go to S3 bucket, properties, and here you will see notification. So let me just go for create event notification. Give some name. Let us say this is or. Let us say it is. Keep it as it is. So I will just select all object. Actually put is more than enough. Okay, because we are just going to put the file in the bucket. No need. No need. It will do.
When we are put HTML, but it also will execute it, I think. Not HTML.
Just, you are saying I should use a here.txt, right?
Yes,
no, not necessary. See. Actually it will do, means अगर दिया तो भी कुछ problem नहीं है, but नहीं दिया तो भी चलेगा. So if you just go to the destination now, I will select Lambda function and let me select the Lambda function. So this is the Lambda function. So it is crucial that Lambda function and the bucket has to be in the same region here, and I have just selected that only. Okay. So once that is done, let me click the option Save Changes. So I have used the notification from the bucket level. As I told you, it could also be done from here as well. But now it is not necessary. I'm just going to refresh it, and you will see the S3 will come up here. Okay, so let me just go back to the function and just let me refresh it. So once I refresh it and if I just go back here, now you can see the S3 trigger has been added. Okay, so we don't need any destination because anyway, we are just going to do it manually, right? We are going to run it from there. Otherwise, you can also have the automation. You can use the SNS topic from here as well, but let me do it in this way. So once it is done, now back to my Lambda function here. And now what I will do, I will just put that code here. I have already modified it, right? So let me just, I think I had copied it, but let me. So bucket name as well as my ARN. Okay, so that has been updated. So let me just save it. And once it is done, I will click the option deploy. Let me test it now. I'll go to test. For testing, we need to create the event. Let me just use demo event something. And let me Okay, now what I will do, I will just upload one file first. Okay, I think in that bucket there is nothing. Let me just go there. So in that bucket, upload, add file, and let me just select this file, upload. Now let me go to the Lambda function. Okay, I did not get any error, right? So now let me go to my mail and let me see this message. See, it is this one, 3:22 p.m. Your file name abc.txt has 25 words. Okay, I'm not getting that this is just to unsubscribe it, right? That's all. So what is going wrong with you, Lucky, then? Why was that happening?
Can you open last one also, ma'am?
Which one?
Last one mail.
This one?
There is, yes, ma'am. One mail also, ma'am. This one. Yes, ma'am.
This one. It is the same one. If you wish to stop the notification.
Trigger option, ma'am, I think.
Kahan?
Trigger. Ma'am, I make mistake in trigger option, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let me check it once again. Okay, दूसरा एक फाइल अपलोड करके देखते हैं बकेट में वो काम करता है या नहीं. So if I just go here, let me upload one more object. Upload. So initially it was abc.txt, right? So now let us say use this EY user. Okay, so probably it is having some stuff in it, EY user. So if I just upload it, fine. Back to my Lambda. Let me go to my mail. And this is the one, 3:24 p.m. this time. Your file name eyuser.txt has 82 words. Okay, and again, nothing else. It is just asking me to giving the link if I want to unsubscribe it. Okay, now one more thing. So I'm doing it manually here, right? I'm doing it everything manually here, but you can go for this destination as well. And you can use SNS topic. So in this SNS topic, this one, and we have already given SNS permission to that, right? So we have already given the SNS permission. So if I just use this one, actually I wanted to go for success as well as failure as well. Let me just save. Fine. Now see, this is the architecture. S3 going to trigger Lambda. Lambda is going to send the notification, right? So this is one. And you can send it to multiple destinations. And triggers even can come from multiple sources, multiple S3 bucket maybe. Okay. So once that is done, let me just check it. Honestly, I have not checked this one. Okay. Am I not audible?
You are audible.
Okay.
Ma'am, it is fine.
Raunak, check at your end then. Okay, Raunak? So I think the problem is with your device then. Otherwise, एक बार मीटिंग छोड़ के फिर से ज्वाइन करो. Okay, Lucky, what you are saying, you are not doing manually. First upload it and check it directly. Okay, yeah, that is what I'm doing now. That is what I'm doing now. Okay, so अभी कुछ नहीं करने वाली हूँ, अभी सिर्फ फाइल अपलोड करने वाली हूँ और अभी SNS में जाने वाली हूँ. That is the only thing I'm going to.
अगर आप डेस्टिनेशन में नहीं भी डालती तो भी डायरेक्टली पहुंच जाता
हाँ
है।
होता यस आई एग्री ओके डेस्टिनेशन नहीं भी डालती तो भी होता बिकॉज वो कोड में आपने ऑलरेडी लिखा है राइट सो यू हैव ऑलरेडी कॉन्फ़िगर्ड इन द कोड एज वेल सो दैट वाज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम ओके बट लेट मी जस्ट चेक ये दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग ये मैंने ट्राई नहीं किया है सो लेट मी जस्ट गो टू दैट बकेट वंस अगेन if doesn't work I will just remove that notification as well okay so let me just upload file add time let us say let me use this file hopefully there are certain things over there
हाँ मैम इट्स ऑल्सो मैम यही मिस्टेक मैम मेरे साथ हो रहा था यही आ रहा था टाइम स्टैम्प मैम
sorry I got disconnected secondly my internet was also not stable at that time but anyway I have just removed that destination I have removed okay now what I will do I will simply upload the file now if I just go to the lambda function now there is no destination it is just the one which was there as it is so now let me I will not trigger that function. Okay, I just want to check the destination. I will not invoke that function. I will just check the destination. This is the last time. Let me try. Upload, add file. Let me use this one. It is asynchronous. It might take a little bit time, not that much, but yes, it may take some time. It is a txt file. So let me just go here again. And yeah, no, it is not the one. Actually, it has taken the same file again. But the timestamp is right. It is 0 minutes ago. Let me do it once. Now it is just okay. I think something went wrong here. It is showing me the same file again. I don't know what I did. Okay. But anyway, in case it is just working with you perfectly, the first one, it will also do. I think now it is clear, right? Although I'm not getting the appropriate result right now. Initially, I was getting that. I don't know what I did. And it starts giving me just that first file only. Otherwise, what I will do, I will just remove all these files. Okay, now there is no object. Now let me upload. Now it is showing me. Okay, now it is showing me. So the timestamp is correct. It is 0 minutes and it is showing me it is having 25 words. And that's all. I have not triggered it, right? I have not triggered it. It happened automatically. Fine. I hope it is clear. Actually, it should also work. Means it is not required. Definitely it is because you have written it in the code itself, right? You have written it in the code properly. Everything, right? That is why it is not required. But if at all it was not there, we could have done it in that way as well. Okay, by triggering the SNS topic from the Lambda or sending the notification to the SNS topic from Lambda. Fine. Okay, folks. So this was the lab, and second request was being made regarding the weighted routing policy, right? That is blue-green deployment. Let me quickly do that, and then we will proceed with the next topic. So honestly, I have not prepared the setup. I would have done that. So what we will do, I will just create in single availability zone only, A as well as B. Okay, although it is possible, Route 53 is definitely going to work perfectly well across the region as well. It is possible. Okay, even we can do that. Okay, let us do that. No problem. What I will do, I will go to my EC2 instances. Now what I will do, I will create one instance in, let us say, I think it is already working. Let me just check whether it is having that web page, because I think in my morning batch, I did something here. No, I guess. Okay. Let me quickly launch one in Oregon and other in Singapore. So let us say this is my T2.micro. Let me select the key. Let me select default VPC here, but yeah, default VPC, and let me just use allow HTTP from the internet and SSH as well. And now I will just go to the advanced details and I will just upload the script here. Scroll down. Let me go to Singapore region. Again, default VPC. Let me create the security group with SSH as well as HTTP. I'll go to advanced detail. Now let me go to route 53, and we know route 53 is a global service. There I will face a little problem. Just hold on. Okay, folks. So because it is not the public hosted zone, what I will do, I will just change a little bit. I will go to my Oregon, and that is what I was trying to do initially. Anyway, I will launch one more instance, and this time I will do it in different availability zone. So right now you can see, if I just go to this instance, instead of using Singapore, I have to use the same one because I'm going for private hosted zone. Okay. So it is in US West 2B. So what I will do, I will create one more instance in US West 2A. Default VPC, but I will select availability zone A this time. So both are created in default VPC. Let me check this one, availability zone A. So in which the availability zone is not mentioned, it is in availability zone B. Actually, it should work perfectly fine for across the region as well. So in the blue-green deployment, now what we will assume, now see, we are having two EC2 instances created, one in availability zone A and availability zone B. Now let us say the availability zone B instance is the newly created one. Okay, it is a newly created one. Originally A was there. Now, what you want your route 53, whenever you are going to get the traffic to access this web server, okay, now you are having one, okay. Initially, you were having just one, and all the 100% traffic was originally going to availability zone A maybe. But because B is there, now what we will do, we will just send 80% traffic over here, and we will send 20% traffic to availability zone B, okay. So, although it is a little bit, yeah, it is easy to understand, okay, just we need to refresh it multiple times, and you just need to count the refresh. Even I will send it with you, you can even try it, okay. So now see, both the servers are working. This is my availability zone A, okay. And if I just go over here and copy the public IP address, and if I paste here, this is my availability zone A, and this is my, this is my availability zone B. Pink is availability zone B, and this green is availability zone A. So both the servers are up and running. Fine. Now, if I go to my test.com, which I have just created, this is the private hosted zone. So two records are created by default. Okay. Now what I will do, I will create record. Let us say this is www.test.com. And now what I will do, I will give the IP address of my availability zone A server. Okay, let me copy it And okay, so now I will just go to this weighted routing policy. So what weight I want to give to that server. So let me just mention 80% here. And health check is optional. I don't want to have a health check here. And let me just give some name. Let us say availability zone A here. Okay, record ID. Fine. So this is the weighted routing policy. I have created it for this name www. So see, now again, this name will not work. I will say for internet. Okay, so for that, I will be creating one Windows instance as well. Create. Similarly, I will create one more record. Now again, it is with the same name, www.test.com. And this time it is the IP address of my availability zone B. It means this. So let me copy it and let me paste it here. Again, it is weighted. And this time I will just give it 20%. You can change the weight as per your requirement. So again, I don't want to use health check here. And let us say it is availability zone B. This is just for our record. Okay. So now it is done. Let me create record. So how I am going to test it? Because it is not the public hosted zone, right? It is not the public hosted zone. So I can't share it with you to check it. So what I will do, I will just go to the same Oregon region. Okay. And I will just launch one instance, Windows instance. And I will just put it in availability zone C here. Okay. So let us say it is demo EC2, because we know those two web servers are created in availability zone A and availability zone B. And now I will just launch Windows here. Let me select this 16 base. T2.micro. Default VPC. And this time, purposely I'm selecting this C. Okay, yes, I want public IP address. I will use the same security group, my security group. It is having all that ports open there. Okay, that's all. It is just Windows. It is just for testing. So I will not insert any script as well. Let me create it. So once it is created, I will just get connected to it using RDP and then we will check. By the time it is launching, let me launch one Linux as well. If it becomes easy for me, even I will show you using the curl. Okay. So let us say this is demo. Anyway, Windows will take 4 minutes. By that time, this instance will again get ready and you will see in both the ways. So let me just go for Linux once again. And again, I'm going to do it in the C availability zone. It is just for testing, just like the Windows, because the problem with Windows is that the browser just cache everything. Sorry, it got selected Ubuntu. I don't want to go for Ubuntu. T2.micro, my 12 key. Okay, and I will select it in the same availability zone C. So just like Windows, I'm going to use it for testing purpose. So availability zone C, let me use existing security group and let it be my security. Okay, launch. Great. Okay, so that Windows instance and this demo EC2 is just for my testing. So let me connect to my Windows. Where is my Windows? I think there are two instances with the same name. So this is my RDP file. Okay, let me download the file. Let me generate the password. Okay, still not available. That is the reason I've launched the Linux as well. If I just go to this and connect, instance connect and connect. Okay, now here what I will do, I will try to connect with both the instances using curl. So curl and IP address, or even I can use that www, no problem. http://www.test.com. Now see, it because we have given 80% weightage to this. Let me do it multiple times. Okay, again Oregon. Again Oregon. Again Oregon. Again Oregon. Oregon. Availability zone A, right? So I want to go for, yes, it shows, okay? It shows because we should be able to create that much load as well. I'm just expecting the web page of second server as well. We have done everything perfectly. The only thing is that we are not able to create that much load. Simultaneously, it should have that load as well. Okay, what I will do, I will try with my Windows. Let me see if I'm able to show you that. Okay, so that is the reason I have created Windows as well. Otherwise, our record is perfect. See, we have used www.test.com. It is weighted routing policy. 80% here, 20% here. 80% is going to this IP address and 20% is going to this IP address. It should work. Okay. The thing is that we are not able to create that much load. Okay, what I will do, I will just go to my Windows machine. Okay, it is here. Let me see whether password got created or not yet. Yes, let me upload the key. Let me use password. Let me paste it here. Okay, now it is running. Let me go to Internet Explorer. See, folks, it got created on, it got directed to the second one. Okay. So see, it is not showing me availability zone here. It is my availability zone B. So if confused, we still have this EC2 instance connect here. See. So let me do it simultaneously. So request from these are just going to A. Still it is showing me A. And if I just go to Windows, let me refresh it. Actually, what I was expecting, multiply refreshing from a single instance should get me connected to different one. Okay. But anyway, in this also we are getting the same result. Okay, this is what I'm able to show you. If at all it would have been the public hosted zone, folks, it would have been very simple to understand, because in that case, I would have shared this URL, for example, www.test.com. If at all it would have been the public one, I would have shared it in the chat, and I would have asked every participant to just access that. And then you would have told me that we got connected to this one or we got connected to this one. But yes, this is how it is working. Is it clear, Lucky, to some extent or not? Are you there?
I didn't ask anything.
आपने ही तो मुझे ब्लू ग्रीन डिप्लॉयमेंट बोला था ना बताने के लिए.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, सो यही ब्लू ग्रीन डिप्लॉयमेंट है. वेटेड पॉलिसी ब्लू ग्रीन डिप्लॉयमेंट से किया जाता है. Okay, so I told you either I will show it using elastic beanstalk or let us say route 53 when load balancer would have done that one. Okay, so this is route 53. We use the weighted routing policy, and weighted routing policies are actually used for blue green deployment. So what I can do, for example, if I just change it to 50-50% maybe. Okay, but again I will have a little bit challenge there as well. If one request should be here and one request should be here, even that can be done. But this is what the blue-green deployment. My Oregon availability zone A was the blue one, and my availability zone B server was the green one. Okay, that is the reason I have sent 20% traffic over here and 80% traffic over. So this was the demonstration. Okay, so with this, I will start with our other topic. Okay, but as you know, I need to delete that hosted zone. Okay, so I will simply go to that route 53 and I will just delete that hosted zone. You cannot delete the hosted zone directly unless and until you delete the user created records as well. So these two records are created by me. So let me first delete these records. Okay. So once it is deleted, let me delete the hosted zone. Let me quickly delete my Singapore server as well, because what will happen? It will just keep running there. So just a minute. And in Oregon, let it be running. I will just stop this one. All the instances are running. Let me stop it for the time being. I don't know whether it is required again. Otherwise, it takes time to create the instances. Fine. So let me just stop it. Fine, folks. So now with this, let us go back to our restart. Okay. Let us start with this step functions now. I will start with the step function. Then we will go for the lab overview once again. And then we will go for databases. Okay. So let me start with step functions. Okay. Meanwhile, it is getting started. So what exactly these step functions are? These step functions are generally used as a orchestration again. Okay. Orchestration tool for serverless application. Okay. So this is the definition you can see. Okay. It is used for serverless function, orchestration for your serverless functions. This is what your step functions are. Now let us say you are having two lambda functions. Now you know how to create the lambda function, and even we know the maximum permissible execution time for any lambda function is just 15 minutes. So it can just execute for 15 minutes maximum. So your code should be written such that the execution should get completed within 15 minutes time. And if the code is very long, let us say, and it cannot be used in a single I will say function, then in that case we can create the small functions and then we can run multiple lambda function. So in that case, let us say there are two lambda function 1 and lambda function 2. And let us say what is the logic here. For example, what we want, once lambda function 1 executes and completes successfully, then we want lambda function 2 to be executed. Okay. That's only when lambda function 1 gets executed, then and only then lambda function 2 should be called. Okay, so this can be done. So, for example, just let us say once your payment is done, only once the payment is done successfully, then only the order is going to get shipped to your address. Something like this. Okay, so unless and until it gets completed successfully, it should not happen. So, this can be done using the step function. This can be done using the step function. So now we can even use lambda running parallelly. So this is something which is known as running functions in parallel. Now let us say lambda function 1 is there, lambda function 2 is there. Okay. And they are running in parallel, and output of both these lambda function is, let us say, going to lambda function 3. Okay. So now let us say only after function 1 and function 2 execute successfully, then both of them should be sent to the lambda function 3. Again, this logic can be used in the step function. Now, even you can use, let us say, lambda function based on some data. Let us say, again, this is lambda function 1, lambda function 2, and let us say lambda function 3. Now, let us say lambda function 1 executes, and depending upon the output, so it is having some output, right? This is going to give you some output. Now, depending upon the output data, it should send it to either lambda function 2 or let us say lambda function 3. Okay, so just depending on the output. So this is known as selecting lambda function based on the data. Again, it can be achieved. Now, coordinating lambda function. Now, let us say there are multiple lambda functions now. Lambda function 1, lambda function 2, lambda function 3, then let us say 4, then let us say 5, 6, and maybe 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now there are multiple lambda functions now. Okay, so maybe they can be in series, maybe in parallel. It just depend on your logic. So here you can see lambda function 1 is calling lambda function 2, 2 is calling 3, 3 is calling 4, 5, 6, and so on. This is the entire workflow. Okay, this is the entire lambda workflow. Now it might happen that lambda function 2, okay, lambda function 2 has an issue and it does not successfully run. So what happens is that workflow will break, right? So it is not working properly. So workflow will break. Here we want something which is known as try catch. It is also known as try catch. Now it is something like this. If 2 did not work, okay, then what has to be done? If 2 did not run, then either again run 1 again, okay, so either go back and run 1 again, okay, so or maybe try to run 2 again. This will also do. If it fails to run, you are having 2 options, either to try to run it again, otherwise you go back and try to run the function 1 again. Okay, so this is all what we called try catch blocks or error handling as well. Okay, so this is possible using your step function. Now this coordination between the multiple components of the lambda for error handling or maybe try catch block, if you want to do inside a single code, it will become much more larger, right, and difficult to maintain. And this coordination between this multiple component is handled by something which is known as step function. Okay. Now this is what your step function is now. Now it makes it easy to coordinate these components of the distributed application using this workflow. So it will have something, let us say start, then maybe submit job, something like this. Submit job. You are a programmer. Okay, you will try to understand it more properly. So this is submit job. Then let us say wait for a few seconds. Just a minute. Even I want to wait for a second. Okay, sorry. My daughter is disturbing me today. Every now and then she's just asking something. Sorry. Okay. So this is what the step function is. So let us say you are starting the workflow. Start is going to go to one job, let us say submit, then it is going to wait for some time. Then let us say going to this lambda function, checking the status, whether it is completed. If it is failed, let us say, then what has to be done? It should give some SNS notification or something again through lambda. And if the final job status is completed, then it should end. Okay, so this is something which is the workflow. So let me just take you to the step function. So what is the tagline? Coordinate, distribute, distributed application. So again, what I will do, I will just show you the sample hello world function. I think already created. Let me delete it. I will do it for you again. Okay. So this is something which is known as state machine. Okay, this is state machine. Let me just let us go for the default one, visual. Okay, now see, this is something will happen here. Actually, I just wanted to use the default hello world function. It is not showing me that. There are lots of use cases actually. I'm just searching for that default hello world because I don't know that coding part. Okay, what we will do, we will just first complete this one, okay, and then we will come back. Otherwise, I will select some different region, no problem. In that different region, it will definitely work. Okay, so in this module, you will examine the benefits using step function in serverless workflow in SysOps. Step function, workflow, state transitions, as well as task. So these are the key terms which we are going to see here. Okay, so let us get ourselves introduced with this step function. It enables you to coordinate AWS services into serverless workflow. Workflow consists of series of steps. The output of one step is the input of the next step. And what are the key benefits? You can build and update a distributed application, and you need to write less code. See, it becomes very easy if you are just writing a code and it is just small code. Okay, so to debug the code and something, if it is written a very big file or something, very large code becomes very difficult to debug it. And that is another advantage. AWS step function enables Lambda and ECS to work together. This is example how you are going to use this step function. So we can enable step function, use step function to use Lambda and ECS to work together. You can coordinate multiple AWS services into serverless workflow so that you can build and update application quickly. For example, you can design and run workflows that combine services such as this. It consists of series of steps. The output of one step acts as the input of the another step. Step function translates your workflow into state machine diagram. So this state machine is just like the workflow. It is a diagram. It is a diagram that is easy to understand, easy to explain to others, and easy to change. A state machine is a series of steps and transition between each step. So the entire workflow, I will say, is known as state machine. You can monitor each step of the runtime. If something goes wrong, so you do not need to modify the entire code. You just go to that particular step and you just check what it is failing there. It becomes easy to fix problems quickly. It automatically triggers and tracks each step and also retries when error occurs. So this is something which we have seen, right? So it is known as try catch or error handling, so that your application runs in order as expected. Benefits. So increase productivity, good agility, as well as gives you resilience as well. So just to go through this. automatic error handling as well as graceful exits. This can be achieved using this. Now see, this is the example. AWS step function. Define steps in your workflow, coordinate AWS services at each step, and run as needed up to 1 year. 1 year. Okay. So swap out tasks or steps when not needed if you want to change it. Now, what exactly these tasks are? Now, see, step function works through configured workflow that you define. You coordinate individual tasks by expressing your workflow as a state machine. So, individual states make a decision based on their input, perform action, and pass their output to the states. Step function console provides a graphical representation of the step machine to help visualize your application logic. States can perform different functions. For example, they can do some work that is known as performing a task, or they can make a choice. Okay, so so that we have seen, right? So depending upon the output of one function, then it will select whether to go to step function number 2 or maybe function number 3 in the workflow. Tasks are configured to invoke code that is hosted in a function. It can be the container or even the instance. It can then be run as many times as needed for a period of 1 year. As workflow evolve, you can change the task or step order, or you can add or delete the task without needing to modify your entire code. So this is how your step function application lifecycle looks. You can get the visual wave of it. Okay. So even you can use the JavaScript object notation. And here you can see the green color and the orange color. So if it is getting executed properly, initially you just click on the start button and slowly you will see each and everything is turning to be green. So if it is not turning green and showing you red somewhere, let us say here it is showing me red. So it means that there is some problem at this step. Okay, so it becomes very easy to troubleshoot it as well. Okay, so for example, this is the hello world function, start hello world, and it should give you the output. So in JSON format, it will be something like this. In visualization form, it will be something like this. Okay. You can use the step function console for different types of information. You can access most of the features from the console through step function application programming interface and so forth. You can use API as well as CLI for that. And here they have given you this video. Okay. So just go through this video once. We are not going in much detail. See, this is a very advanced topic. It gets covered in SysOps administration as well as DevOps. It is the topic of SysOps as well as DevOps. Okay. So here at the Cloud Practitioner Essential, it is not required, but still foundational level knowledge is definitely required. Now what I will do, I will go to different region. Here it is not possible for me to show you properly. So let me go to Mumbai region. I think they have just changed it. Anyway. Okay, for example, this. Okay, so let me select this option, write your workflow in code, and I will just use the standard option, standard or express. So I will just go for standard, and this is what is happening. Okay, so this is the graphical or visual representation of it. So if I just click next here, let me just use all the settings as it is default. Let me create state machine. Now start execution. See, Okay, so it was not having any problem. So here it is showing me how it got executed properly. So if at all you have written a big code maybe, then in that case it will just go one by one. So it was so quick. It was so quick. I could not show you that initially it went to hello, then it went to world, and then it ended. Okay, so I was just able to show you that it succeeded. But otherwise you can, if it is a big workflow, you can even see how it is just going green step by step or having some error at any step. So you will see something failed or caught error or something. Okay, so it becomes easy in that case how to modify it or how to troubleshoot it. So these are the steps. Okay, so this is all about that step function, and as I told you, it is just the basic one. But yes, if you definitely go through this, you as well, probably it is going to give you much more knowledge regarding that step function. Now going back, let me just introduce you to this activity. Again, it is related to lambda and step function, I guess. So let us go there. Okay, so what is this activity? Let us see. Yeah, storage, compute, database, analytics, fine. Okay. Now let us see the problem. What the customer is having a problem. They request you to send the daily order history. Okay. The daily order history needs to be sent. So Sophia wants to send out a daily report to Frank and Martha. This report would be list a case's daily baking needs. The report would use previous orders to determine tomorrow's baking requirement. That is the use case. In this activity, you will create a lambda function to detail the daily report. Now see, she is not going to do it manually each and every day. Okay, so some automation we are going to use here. Daily the records will be checked, and accordingly the email will be sent to Martha and Frank by Sophia. So that automation will be there. So see, it is sales analysis report architecture and workflow. So this is the database. There are lambda functions here. This lambda function, and especially these both lambda functions are having some roles associated with it. And see, so this is the sales analysis report role, and this is the database. Okay. So it is just fetching the data from the database. Okay. It is creating some reports, something, so you can see the steps as well. And once it is done, the reports are sent to the end user. That is the email address using the simple notification service. Let us see what it is showing us. This diagram shows the lambda functions based serverless component architecture for this report. It also illustrates its execution words, which consists of all following. The Amazon CloudWatch event triggers the ingestion of the sales report lambda at this time every day. Okay, so 8 p.m. every day, that is the time schedule. So every evening at 8 p.m. From Monday to Saturday, this sales analysis report has to be sent to email from Frank and Mark. So this sales analysis report lambda function works under the lambda function sales analysis report data extractor. So now once that time is there 8 p.m. every day. So one lambda function is just going to trigger another lambda function, which is just going to extract the data from the database. Both functions receive the appropriate permission to access the resources. This permission is the assignment of the role. And yes, that I have already told you. So the sales analysis report data extract functions runs an analytical query against my SQL database that runs a LAMP instance. And yes, we know it is a LAMP. Okay. The query result is returned to sales analysis report function. And then that function formats the report into a message. It publishes the message to this topic, SNS topic, which in turn is having the email ID associated with that landmark. The sales analysis report topic sends the message to them. Okay, so this is what you are going to achieve. So this is the use case, and in the lab scenario, you are going to perform, and it becomes very easy to understand if you are doing it yourself manually. So now let us see. 178 lab. Okay. So in this lab, you deploy and cover the lambda function. Again, the same story. Okay, so see. So this is the cloud watch event. Okay, so it should trigger daily 8 a.m. from Monday. Once that time is set, 8 a.m. is there, then it is going to trigger the first lambda function. Sales and analysis report. It is going to trigger. Sorry, not this one. Confusion in this diagram. It should trigger this one, which is going to fetch the data. Yeah, this is fine. It is going to trigger this. It is going to trigger this lambda function, which is going to extract the data, and then it is going to get formatted again here in this lambda function, and then it is going to send to the email. So these are the steps. At 8 p.m., the sales analysis lambda function invokes another lambda function that is the data extractor. So this lambda function is going to invoke this lambda function, and it is going to take the data or run the query against the cafe database, and that will be formatted. Okay, so see, this is what you are going to do. Try to do this one. So here you are going to do everything. First, these roles are already created for this sales analysis report DE role as well as this role. It is just go there and check what permissions they are having. The first permission they must have will be the basic lambda execution role. Okay. On top of it, maybe it may have some permission related with SNS copy, maybe database, right? Because these even now watch. So this lambda is just communicating with multiple services. So appropriately, it should have those permissions. So the first step is you are just going to see the IAM role setting. Then you are going to observe the analytics report. This is again role setting, and these permissions are there. Okay, this basic lambda role as well as SNS, as well as SSM, and so forth. Okay, so now lambda layer, which is used to extract the data, and for that again some codes are there written by Python again. You just try to do this. Okay. So let me see. Even I write. Okay. I've tried it once. Okay. It is not that much difficult. But you just go to it once. Okay. Just go to it once and let me know if it is not working once. Okay. Let's try this one. This is the big one. It will take like a lot of time. If I just read and every step. Okay. So this is for you 178. Try to do it, otherwise I'm always here. Now let me start with this database solver. Okay. What is that? Help you understand the database resources that are available for your solution. And I guess you already done your database also, so it will not be that much difficult for you. So difference between SQL as well as NoSQL database and relational database. What is the difference between managed service as well as unmanaged service? So that is what the database is here. We will talk about the role right here. And yes, when you are going to the project, there is this knowledge base spreadsheet. Try just populate this one. Your errors or whatever case is when you will lab. Okay. So nothing here. Okay. Now let me go to this is ratio. It is not possible for me to show any demonstration of ratio. First of all, it doesn't under the free here for other services like I usually show you. And it is on trial period. So my trial period is actually been expired. So it is not possible for me to show you that service. But yes, let us see what exactly the ratio is. You will not have any lab on rate assessment. Okay. First of all, this is keyword data warehouse service. So whenever you see this data warehouse type service, big analytics, okay, big analytics, data warehouse type service, you think of range. It is a columnar data. It is petabyte scale type of data. Okay, so it is petabytes as well. It is only managed petabyte scale data warehouse service in the cloud, fully managed. Now understanding petabytes and data warehouses. So these are some simple conceptions for your understanding. Okay, so you can understand how large the petabyte is, right? So it is 10 to the power 15 times bytes of information. One petabyte is approximately equal to 1000 terabytes, and one terabyte is approximately equal to 1000 gigabytes. Now, what is data warehouse? Data warehouse is a central repository of information that can be analyzed to make more informed decisions. Now this and the main indicator is warehouse, right? Data warehouse type of service. It is a repository. So huge amount of data can be put there on which you are going to run some analytics and you are going to have some informed decisions on top of it. It is going to provide a dashboard, some analytical tools, and so forth. So that users can quickly query results to hundreds and thousands of users at the same time. How does it works? It can contain multiple databases. No, it is not for a single database. It is a multiple database. And within each database, data is organized into tables and columns. And within each column, you can find description of the data, such as whether it is integer, the data type is string, and so on. And tables can be organized inside schemas, which can be think of as a whole set. So multiple schemas will be there, and inside that schema you can see different databases. It is possible to go for informed decision making. Just run the analytics on huge amount of data and have some decisions. Consolidate data from many sources. Historical data analysis is also possible. This is again one of the keyword which usually goes for this rate sheet. If you want to go for historical data analysis, then you can use this rate sheet. Data quality consists consistency as well as accuracy, separation of analytic processing from transactional databases, which improve performance of both systems. Now, how is the architecture? It is a data warehouse. It is made up of multiple tiers. The top tier is the front end where the client can see the results. Okay, so maybe they can get some analytics on the report can be different forms, maybe the bar graph, maybe the line graph, maybe the other types of graph. So this is the front end. This is the front end. So output will be displayed in the dashboard. The middle tier consists of the analytics engine that is used to access and analyze the data, and the bottom tier of the architecture is the database server, where the data is actually loaded and stored. Okay, so this is the back end or the bottom tier. This is the middle tier, and this is the front tier. So this is the tier architecture of Redshift. Now, how do they all work with it? So yes, a centralized repository that allows what exactly the data takes you first. So that is because the data is there. That's why we call it as the data warehouse, right? So data is the centralized repository again that allows you to store all your structured as unstructured data. Any type of data. You can store your data as is without any modification. Without having first the data, and on that whatever it is, okay, you can run types of analytical queries, and you can have the visualization on the dashboard, real analytics, machine learning to make some better decisions on your analytics. So what is Redshift once again? It is fast and powerful. It is fully managed database service. This enables you to run complex analytical queries against petabytes of data, and it uses sophisticated query optimization. It is a columnar story. Yeah, this is again a keyword which identifies Redshift. It goes for columnar story. So data is stored in columns. For high performance queries and parallel query execution is also possible. So this is what the parallel query execution. So multiple SQL queries can be parallelly run with this Redshift. Okay. So what about the feature? It is the managed data, or rather it is fully managed. Just like your RDS or maybe MySQL or maybe your DynamoDB is again a fully managed database. It is going providing both the encryption and as well as the transit, and supports standard SQL query and provides high performance connectors. Also, you want to go for JDBC or maybe ODBC connector, you can also use those obvious data. Mechanics of parallel processing on Amazon Redshift. Parallel processing method of computing where two or more microprocessors are simultaneously taking programs apart from running program tasks simultaneously. So this is something which is parallel processing. We call it very some can call it as a multitasking something, right? So but here instead of the all the tasks run as single process, here it is going for multiple processes, and that's why it is known as parallel processing. Okay. How Amazon Redshift works? There is a leader node, just like the master node. It is also known as leader node, which manages the communication with client programs and all communication with computers. So this is the master node, and these are the computers. Okay, so this is master. This is the same diagram. So here you get the interface. This is the lead node, which is the master node or leader node, and these are the workers. Okay, these are the workers. These are the computers. Okay. So it passes and develops the query plans, carry out database operation. In particular, the series of steps that are needed to obtain results for complexes. The leader node compiles code for individual elements of query plan and assigns them to the compute nodes. Just a minute. Sorry, once again. Okay. So what the leader node is doing, it is just distributing the tasks to be performed by the company. And like most database services, you only pay for what you use. You can get started for as little as 25 cents per hour to depend. Okay. So $1,000 per terabyte per year. Redshift spectrum feature. So this is the Redshift spectrum type of database, which enables you to run queries against exabytes of data directly in S3. So see, in S3 we can run the spectrum. Okay, so that is to query against the exabytes of data. So your S3 is loading exabytes of data, and your spectrum can directly run the queries on the S3 bucket. Just like I will say Athena, but Athena, this one is quite more advanced as compared to Athena. Athena, we are having some limitations there. Okay, but this is a spectrum database. Okay, use cases. Where are you going to use this Redshift? Migrate at a pace when customers are comfortable with. So basically, it is enterprise data warehouse, EDW. Experiment without large upfront cost or commitment and respond faster to your business. Big data analytics. Low price point for small customer, managed service for ease of deployment, focus more on data and less on management. So that is because it was a managed service. So second use case is it is for big data analytics. Then software as a service. Scale your data warehouse capacity on demand load. So you can use it as a software as a service. Okay, so don't worry about the underlying infrastructure and something. You just add some functionality for analytics and let it manage the hardware with the software. Okay, easy to manage platform for Redshift. Some use the platform to provide analytic capabilities to their application. Some deploy a cluster per customer and use tagging to help simplify and manage their service level agreement and billing. Redshift enables customer reduce hardware and software costs exponentially because it is a software as a service. Okay, fine. So that's all. Okay, folks, it was just a high level overview. Okay, don't go into detail of it. So there are certain keywords that you must be aware of. First of all, it is data warehouse type of petabyte or exabyte type of scaling. Redshift spectrum is directly able to communicate or do analytics on the S3 bucket itself. So these are certain keywords here. Otherwise, this topic is supposed to be, even we may not cover this topic in much more detail in database security specialty area. Okay, but see, this is what your Redshift is. Okay, fine. So don't have any lab on it, don't worry. Okay, but for Amazon Aurora, definitely I will give you the demonstration. Okay. Now let me start with this Aurora. Amazon Aurora. Okay, let me start. So it will be easy to understand as compared to Redshift, because in Redshift there was nothing, right? You were just reading it and just thinking that it should be something like this. Okay, now let me just go for Aurora. I will give you good hands-on on this. Okay. Again, it will be the advanced topic definitely, but let us see. Help you understand the database resources that are available for your solution and so forth. It is a fully managed relational database service. First of all, it is relational database, RDS. It is fully managed and it is compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL. It is 5 times as what AWS is. Okay, what AWS is, according to AWS, it is 5 times faster than MySQL. And it is 3 times faster than PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL. So 5 times faster than traditional MySQL and 3 times faster than PostgreSQL. Basically, it is relational database. Okay, it is not non-relational or NoSQL database. It is a relational database. Now, what is the difference? How it differs from the traditional MySQL or other maybe Oracle or maybe Microsoft SQL? Okay, so these are just the relational databases, right? So how Aurora is different from these databases? Now, basically, we know, I think I have already talked about this earlier as well. So basically, databases comes in two categories when we think about databases. One is the commercial and second is the open source. So everyone is having its advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages of open source? I will say cost. Okay, it is very cost effective, as good as nothing. So that is the open source database. Commercial database, so they are very costly. We know they are costly commercial database. You need to have the license and you have to pay for it. First thing. Second thing, it will give you advantages that it will have some advanced features. All the advanced features will be available. Just take example of MySQL, community edition as well as commercial edition. So if you think about the community edition of MySQL, you will see lots of features are not there. Okay, they will just say you that if you want to use this feature, then go for the commercial edition. For the free tier edition, or not free tier, open source edition, lots of features are not available. Okay, so but if you are using the commercial database, you get the advantage that get all the features. Yes, cost is very high. You even get support, which is not possible in open source. Let us say if you are using any open source database and you get stuck somewhere, right? So there is no official support provided to you because it is an open source database. So yes, the advantage is that for commercial, it is going to give you all the advanced features and it usually gives you all the support. But the drawback is cost. And here, although it is cost effective, we have to compromise with features and we have to compromise with support. And Aurora comes here. Aurora sits in between these. So what exactly the Aurora is? Cost-wise, it is as good as open source. Okay, cost-wise, it is as good as open source, but feature-wise and support-wise, it gives you all the benefits of the commercial database. And that's why it is known as enterprise level database. It is enterprise database. That is the commercial. Okay, so this is what your Aurora is. Okay. Now, if you must have seen in your relational database when you had your databases topic. Now, let us say this is the primary database. Okay. So you can have two features there. One is known as maybe a standby, right? We have seen it earlier as well. Standby, and other is read replica. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between read replica and the standby? Yes. Anybody? Yes.
Question.
What is the difference between standby and read replica in your relational database systems? No? Okay, let me tell you. So if I just go to the relational database service here, let me try to create the database. Now see, it is a fully managed service, right? It is a fully managed service. Now if I just go to standard create, now you see these are the options. Aurora, MySQL compatible, Aurora, PostgreSQL compatible. But if I just go for the free one, community edition of MySQL, just to show this one. So this is the community edition. So if I go here and I will use the latest version, so I get 3 types: production, dev test, as well as degree. So if I go for production, see, I get the the option multi-AZ database cluster, multi-AZ database instance, and single database instance. So what is the basic difference? So first of all, it is multi-AZ. So when we say it is multi-AZ, what is happening? You are having your primary database, okay? So maybe in availability zone A, in multi-AZ, it will create the standby in availability zone B maybe. And if I go for the first option, what was the first option? Multi-AZ database cluster. If I select this option, which is comparatively newer, it will create two standby in different availabilities. Now, these are, the name indicates they are standby. They are just going to sit idle. They are not going to do anything. Okay, they are just sitting idle. But they are getting the updates from the private. So read operations and write operations are happening at your primary database. Okay, but now it is synchronously. It is synchronously getting replicated with the standby. Synchronously, it is as good as real time. So if the object is here, within a microsecond it should be there, or within less than that. Okay, so whatever the objects are getting written over here, so the objects will get written over here as well. So this is, so in short, this standby is up to date. It is having everything what is happening in the primary copy. And if, let us say, something goes wrong with the primary, if something goes wrong with your primary, then what happens, the standby will get automatically promoted as the next primary. So this will get automatically promoted. You don't do anything. Automatically it will be your next primary one. Okay. So all the write and read queries now will go for this server. And if it is the standby cluster, then it will create the standby instance once again somewhere else. Okay, so maybe in availability zone A, but if there is a problem with availability zone A, maybe then it will try to create it in maybe availability zone D or something. And if D is not available, it will try to create it in A or B, whatever availability zone is there. Because in cluster we need to have two standby. Okay, so this is what the standby is. You do not need to do anything in your application. So whatever URL you have given in your application, the same URL is going to direct it to the new primary. You don't need to modify anything. So this is the first option. The third option, the second option may be this one, multi-AZ database instance. What is happening here? Your primary, if it gets created in availability zone A, only one instance will get created in some different availability zone. Okay, only one. And again the same story. This is the primary. This is the primary. It is having all the read and write operations happening here, and it is synchronously getting updated. Okay, and if at all something goes wrong with this, then this standby will be promoted as a primary. Automatically, it will be acting as a primary without you doing anything in the application. Your application, whatever URL you have given to your application, it is automatically going to get directed over here. So this is known as multi-AZ. This is known as multi-AZ feature in AWS. And then we have something which is known as read replica. Now, what is the basic difference? Now, again, maybe the primary instance is here. Okay. And now read replica can be in different availability zone, or it can be in different region altogether. Okay. So let us say this is my Oregon. Primary is in Oregon and availability zone A. One read replica I want to create in B maybe, and second read replica maybe in Mumbai region. But as the name indicates, it is the read replica. Again, it is getting the contents from the primary one. It is just the read only copy. Write operations cannot be performed on these databases. You cannot write data in read replicas. But the read queries can be answered using the read replicas. But here the thing is that this replication is asynchronous. It is not the synchronous replication like the previous one. Okay, asynchronous means there will be little bit time lag. Let us say the object got created here. To that object to get replicated over here, it will take some time. Okay, but that time again, don't think it is 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Oh no, it is not like that. Again, it will be less than minute. Again, it will be less than minute. But yes, it is asynchronous. If something goes wrong with the primary, it will not be actually promoted automatically, okay, then you need to do something. You need to make it as a right copy something. Okay, so this is what is happening in your relational data. So in Aurora, what is happening, you know? So Aurora, there is some different thing. Now, if I just simply show you this MySQL initially, let me just okay. In dev test environment, again, these options are there. The default is single database instance. It creates a single database instance with no standby. Okay, I will go for this create here. Let me just create this. Now let me give name to my database. Let us say it is demo database instance. So beneath the scene, it is nothing but the EC2 instance. Okay. So username to communicate with that instance, username, and then I need to provide the password. Let me confirm the password. Okay. I will use t2.micro here. So let me just select this option and I will go for t2.micro. Okay. Fine. Storage. Now, what is happening in storage? See, because I have taken this pre here, okay, I have taken this as pre here template. That's why it is showing me 20 GB of data. Otherwise, it could be it is very large. Okay, but anyway, in I will say free tier, it is just giving me general purpose. But if I wish, I can go for provisioned IOPS or some other storage types as well. So although it is 20 GB, see, if I go for this option, I can go for enable auto scaling. So if this option is selected, then I don't need to worry about the scaling, whether I will be running out of storage or something. No need to worry, because it is automatically going to scale your storage. Isn't it very interesting? Otherwise, in a database, the major issue is that lots of data is getting created. Just think about the Facebook, what will be happening, or even the WhatsApp even. Okay, so their database servers are just getting loaded with lots of information, right? Lots of data, I will say. So they definitely be needing a good storage. So are they adding that storage manually? Definitely not. There must be something storage auto scaling. So this is what the auto scaling is. You do not need to worry about it. It is automatically going to scale for you. So do you want to connect to the instance directly? No, basically I don't want it. So where you want to create it, let it be in my default VPC. Okay, let me just create it in my default VPC. In that I am having 4 subnets and 4 availability zone. Let the subnet group be as it is. Do you want it to be directly connected? Okay, so if you have selected public access, yes, then it will. Otherwise, you can select no. Okay, I do not want it to be accessible publicly. And yes, most of the time, it will be this option only, because we have seen in our VPC as well, right? What we have seen in VPC, this is the public subnet, this is the private subnet, where web servers are here. Okay, and databases are here. Because we do not want databases to be accessible directly from the internet, right? We do not want it, and that is the reason we are keeping it in the private subnet. Okay, but anyway, I'm using the default VPC, and in my default VPC, there is no private subnet, because in every default VPC, there are just public subnets only. But what I will do, I will not allow it to be accessed publicly. Okay, so I will select it no. Security group, you know, for the security group, 3306 port has to be open. 3306 port has to be open for the database. So I'm creating my database here, and the security group will be there, and this 3306 should be open. But for what? But not for 0.0.0.0. Okay, it will be from a specific IP address. Let me just select it as it is for the time, or let me just use let me for the time being create name. Okay, create name. Now let me just use the name database security group. Availability zone. In which availability zone I want it to be created? Let it be created in 2A. Okay. Now if I just go to the additional configuration, this is the database port. Password authentication. Fine. See, monitoring. Do you want to monitor your database? Yes, in production environment, definitely it is very crucial. But here it becomes very easy. If you select this enhanced monitoring, so within 16 seconds, it is going to send the logs to the CloudWatch ads. Okay, CloudWatch service. So I don't want to go for this. Some additional configuration. Do you want to create some database as well? So let us say I want to create a database. Let me name it as a sales maybe. What about the backup? Do you want to go for automated backup? Yes, again a good solution, because you should go for the backups, but I don't want to do it right now. Again, I do not want to export these logs, audit, error, general, as well as query logs to CloudWatch. But if you wish, you can select those logs, and those will go to the log groups in our CloudWatch. Maintenance. Do you want to go for maintenance? And definitely, if you want to go for it, you do not want to disturb your production time. So in that case, you can select the maintenance window. Okay. So you can select the maintenance window, that if at all you want to go for some upgrade, it should happen, let us say on Sunday or something at a very odd time maybe, so that your production time will not get disturbed. Okay. So this is again the option. I will not go for it. And now let me simply create this database. Okay, let me simply create this database. This is the traditional MySQL one. I have even not touched with the Aurora. Okay, this is the traditional one. Okay, folks. Now, what will happen? You know, it will take a little bit time. And sorry, I just did not see the time, and it is almost 5. Okay. So what we will do now? We will have a break, a 15 minutes break, and have your attendance as well. Okay. So once we are back from the break, you will show it got created, and I will show you how to connect to it, and then I will show you the demonstration of Aurora. Okay, and then I will differentiate what is the basic difference between this one. Here, if you have noted, I have selected something storage and lots of things I have selected. Okay, so let us compare it, and it becomes very easy to understand the difference. Okay, folks. So what we will do, anyway, it is going to take a little bit time, 4 minutes or something to get created. So meanwhile, we will have a break, and after the break, we will start from the same topic. Okay. So see you after 15 minutes, everyone.